Welcome everyone to A Minorities Report. This is episode 24. I'm glad to see you guys again. Before we get to today's episode, I just want to say thank you for your patience. I know that we've been out of commission because scheduling the schedules, making the schedules with the guests was pretty challenging. And then my father dying in June, I had to just take a step back there and just be in that season. But for today, our guest is somebody who's lived a few different lives inside one body. By day, he's a correctional officer, and then in California, and then walking into some of the toughest environments, I'm assuming, and I can imagine. By night and on weekends, he's a fighter and a coach, training people at the UFC Gym here in Reno. And he stepped into the ring on Street Beef's West Coast. He's fought Battle of the Badges against fellow officers, and every one of those fights, win or lose, has shaped who he is. But before any of that, he was a kid, a Latino kid with a story, a family, a neighborhood that made him who he is today. And now he's raising two young children of his own and trying to pass that story forward for him. This is Javier Quiroz. Javier, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. First of all, sorry for your loss, brother. I also experienced the loss of my father back in 2021. It was 4 days before Christmas.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know you were going through it. I apologize, but it's rough, bro. I remember, if I could start there, actually, since that's actually a good subject.
Yeah.
It's a crappy time, but it's a good subject to start on. So during the time when that happened, I was going through the separation between me and the mother of my children, and I was already at it. I was already kind of like falling apart. I got closer to God, thankfully. He's the reason why I'm here today. And so it was about 4 days before Christmas, and I woke up to my father I remember the morning, I woke up at 5 a.m. with that breakup rage, and I was like, cool, I'm going to go tear the gym up. And I remember getting up, and everything just felt different. I was living in a 2-story house at the time, and we had a loft area on the second story. Yeah. I remember I opened my door, and the light from the loft area was on, and my father's he's very meticulous. He knows exactly how to carry his routine out, so I know that should have been off. And then when I saw it on, it kind of threw me off, and then I looked outside. At the time, I had 2 vehicles, and I'm a very crappy driver, so I only have one. But at the time, I had 2 vehicles, and I would tell my father to drive my Highlander that had all the nice sensors. That way, because his health was deteriorating, he was going through diabetes. I've seen him as low as 21 for blood sugar, which they go through seizures at 40. They start going into comatose at 40, and I've seen him as high as 800, which at the prison, when we see an inmate with 400 blood sugar that's really, really freaking high, we try to send them out to a higher level of care. And I've seen my dad as high as 800, and still walking and talking, feeling miserable. So I was just knowing that he was going up and down on blood sugar always had me worried. And I remember that morning specifically, I got my stuff together. I got ready. I was heading down the stairs, and that's when I finally saw him was on the stairs. He was collapsed on his back. And of course, initially you freak out. So I freaked out, and then I quickly got my stuff together. And I went ahead and I called 911, and they told me that I got to pick him up. So I picked him up. At first, I was hesitant because of my prior training at the prison. They were like, if someone falls, don't pick them up because you might cause them more damage than good. So I was like, hey, are you sure? And they were like, yeah, you're going to start chest compressions. And so I said, okay. And so I picked him up. On the very first chest compression I did to him, I broke his ribs. And I stopped because they tell me that too in training at the prison. They're like, hey, you're going to break ribs when you do chest compressions. And I completely forgot. So the first chest compression I did, I destroyed his ribs. And luckily I had the first responders on the line, and they were like, hey, you gotta keep going. And I was like, all right, cool. So I kept going. And I got up that morning to go to the gym to go do chest. I didn't have to do chest anymore. I was pumping his chest for what felt like forever. Then first responders finally came. The fire department showed up first because I live up in North Reno. And we have a fire department right down the street. So they came through, and I'm pretty sure they already knew he was gone because he kind of looked at me and he was like, hey, you don't have to do anything anymore. We'll take over. And I was like, just automatic, I kept going, kept pumping his chest. I looked up at him. I was like, I'll stop when one of you guys relieves me. And I just kept going. And I spooked all of them out. I remember they were kind of like, what the heck? And so I was like, I kept going. And one of them finally came up to me and they were like, hey, you can stop now. We got it. And I was like, all right, cool. I sat down. They got around him. And then they started kind of like, they got this ambu bag out. I don't know if you guys know what that is. The ambu bag is like that little oxygen thing that they put on top of their mouths and they start pumping it for oxygen.
I've seen it.
Yeah, so they got that out and they were trying to put it on him, and then they started moving his jaw. And that's when they made the comment. They said, oh, his jaw's stiff. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, what the heck does that mean? Figure it out. Open his mouth, because I'm so ignorant at the time. I'm like going at 1 billion miles an hour. And then one of the firemen finally comes up to me. He tells me, the stiffness in your father's jaw is rigor mortis setting in. We're sorry for your loss. And I just sat back and everything just got quiet for me in that moment. I didn't know how to react. I couldn't react. I was just still. And then once they gave me the news, they let the coroner come in and declare him deceased. And then they had this cool lady that was like my support. Like, I guess they give them to everybody that goes through a loss. And she came in and she was there with me. I broke down, had my emotional moment with my father's body, and then the coroner came in and they took him away. Luckily, during the time, like I said, I was already going through the breakup with my mother's children. I was already single at the time, so the kids were with her at the time. So that was the one good thing. They didn't have to see the grandfather's body all lifeless and stuff. So I'm fortunate for that. Sorry. I took 2 weeks away from Reno and I went straight to Sacramento where my mother lives. And I stopped living for like 2 weeks. I took care of my kids. They got taken care of. I fed them, I clothed them, I bathed them. I took care of them, but I was a little nasty, but I was wearing probably the same clothes for like 3-4 days straight before I finally did something with myself. I was just completely depressed, but luckily, I'm pretty sure you guys have these moments as well where I go through these dark times and the Lord just pushes me forward and picks me back up. And that's how I felt like that time in my life was. It was something that's inevitably going to happen to all of us. We're eventually going to have to be there and go through a loss. And we're going to have to look up at our Father, and He's going to give us the strength we need to get pushed forward. So me being a fighter, God made me a fighter. Thank God, for making me a fighter. I went back into fight mode. And as soon as my 2 weeks were over there, shout out to my work too, my prison. They did all types of weird stuff because we only get 3 days of bereavement, and I was out for 2 weeks. So they did me a solid every single time I called in sick. They were like, we got you. I was like, you guys are cool. Mind you, we were supposed to get a doctor's note 3 days in. They were like, your dad died. You're good. We got you covered. So shout out to my work too. When I was going through the breakup with the mother of my children and the death of my father, so many friends and so many friends, my family, and then my coworkers too. Everybody was just it was perfect. It was God's timing, It was perfect. Where normal people would have fallen, I feel like God really showed Himself in my life during that time. So I was really, really thankful for that. I went to UFC Gym Reno right after that. I remember after I came back, I took my daughter Jacqueline. She's 10. She's turning 11 next month. And then my son is 9, and I took her and I told her we're gonna go boxing, and then she was like, okay, because she's a little daddy's girl. She doesn't know, and she's special needs too, so she has what's called Fragile X syndrome. It's a protein deficiency inside of the X chromosome that causes developmental delays, very similar to autism, and that's why it's called Fragile X. The mom, so whenever during conception, the mother provides a chromosome and the father provides a chromosome, and the ones that she was providing the X chromosome, they were fragile. And so my daughter has a developmental delay. So again, she's just sitting there just nodding in agreement. Okay. And so we go boxing and stuff, and she has a blast. And then it was the adult class and it was my turn. And I just remember just all that all of that anger from those last 2.5 months just coming out through my fist, destroying the heavy bags. The coach that I had was Coach Tyler. He's my colleague now because I started coaching there. But I remember he was my first coach, and he would hold mitts for me. And then later I talked to him about it. I was going through some dark times, and he was like, "You were fighting demons, dude. I held those mitts for you, and you were trying to tear something up." And I was like, I was, dude. I was fighting, man. I really was. And, again, all glory to God. God got me through. He got me through all of that. I wouldn't be able to be here right now in front of all of you guys if he didn't help me out, So
that's good.
All glory to God, 100%.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks for sharing that, Javi. That's pretty heavy for me. I don't know. I don't think I'm ready to share about my pops.
That's
but
good.
It was it's one thing I'm willing to share is I've done many funerals, being a pastor and all. I've seen death up close for some people. Your cousin Jonas, several people at church. But when it was my dad, man, it was it's awful. I was lost for words, and I can talk, but when the doctor broke the news to my dad that, and I was there, that there's nothing else that they can do to save him. That was it for me. But opposite of how you dealt with it, I just immersed myself with work, minus the podcast. But I did church, went back, preached the following Sunday, and just stayed preaching. I just came back from vacation, and that 10 days was the only time that I think I really tried to really focus on the loss of my dad. But I was still in the middle of work and stuff. Although I was out locationally, if that's even a word. Regionally, I'm not there, yeah. But I'm working. So, but yeah, man, it's different. Thanks for sharing that. It's horrible. You went through that too. But you're right. We're all gonna face it one way or another. But share with us, with me and the audience, where you grew up in. What was the neighborhood like for you?
So I grew up in Los Angeles, California. It's like super. You hear all types of bad stuff. I was very ignorant growing up, so I didn't really experience a lot of the bad things. But it's a really bad area, depending where you're at. We grew up in Highland Park. It's the northeast side of Los Angeles, California. And luckily, I never really experienced anything bad. I mean, I had like bullies and whatever in school, and I just kind of like was getting used to the school system and everything. Being Hispanic, I remember them coming up to me and telling me, "Oh, you're in ESL." My first language is Spanish. Not a lot of people know it just because I don't come off with the accent. And so they were like, "Oh, you're in ESL. Can you understand school really well? How's your class?" And I'm like, "Yes." Kind of like, "Why are you asking me dumb questions?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." And so I just kind of like went about it. I stayed there until I was about 12 years old. I moved around a lot in elementary school, but then I remember one middle school I went to, and then we ended up moving to Santa Rosa. My parents kind of wanted to get us out of Los Angeles. They didn't want us to stay there. They were like, this type of life is gonna not be good for you guys. So they did us a favor, and they moved us over to Santa Rosa, over by the Bay Area, and in the Bay Area in California. So we moved over there for a little bit.
Is that where the Coliseum is now? Is that Santa Rosa?
No, that's Santa Clara.
Oh, that's Santa Clara.
So we moved out over there, and it was cool. That's when I actually got to experience gangbangers. That was cool, because all these Mexican kids with no dads were like, "Yeah, we're Sureños," and the other one's right next to them, and we're Norteños. They literally sat like in an L, bro, where the benches were at the front of the school, and I'm like, this is stupid. I was like, what kind of dumb shit? Excuse me. What kind of dumb stuff is this? And I was like, man. But I got exposed to it anyways, right? You're gonna get exposed to all the stuff in life as you live life, and so I got my first taste of gangs there, and I immediately had a dislike for gangs. You know, maybe it was because I had a dad. I'm not trying to bash at them. It's just like I have very firm beliefs that a lot of what's going on in this world that's bad is the lack of a masculine father figure that submits to the Lord in the house. Because it's like a lot of men don't want to take accountability for their actions, you know, and sometimes they leave the house, and who's there to raise their kids? One single parent, a single mother, and the system. And then that's what they get used to. So when they start going to juvenile hall, when they start going to prison, that's what they're already used to. So there's that. And then when the women grow up without a father, from what I'm seeing is that they become very argumentative, very toxic, and not in like a bad way. It's just, you know, I can see the byproduct. And a lot of the joke is, unfortunately, I have a bad joke, right? The joke is that the role of a dad is to keep his son out of prison and his daughter out of the strip club. So we see a lot of the negative roles. When you're lacking either parent, you know what I'm saying? You know, me being a guy, I'm going to hold my men accountable way more than I will ever hold the woman accountable, just because I'm like, look, bro, you got to be there for your kid. You can't just like not be there for your kid. So I'm very fortunate that in my household, I had both parents. Did they have good and bad times? Of course. We all go through good and bad times. But I'm glad my dad was able to see that, you know, this Los Angeles life is not going to be optimal for your growth. So let's take you out of the hood and let's go up north. So I'm glad they did that for us.
That's good. That's good. That was going to be my next question, is how involved your family was, your parents, and you just shared they're very involved, huh?
Yeah.
They really watched it. So culturally, so the Latino culture, in my observation, is almost similar to the Filipino culture. Like we're pretty tight knit when it comes to our family, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I remember my parents being super tight knit. Like my mom was one of those. I'm a mother now. She was a satellite parent. Both of my kids being special needs. I'm a satellite parent, especially towards my son. That kid gives me the hugest. Okay, so statistically speaking, and I can say this is a true statistic, when I'm at work, when I'm in prison, my blood pressure is lower than when I'm around my son. I love him to death. Don't get me wrong. I love being a dad. I love having my kids. I feel like God blessed me with my children. I'm pretty sure all of us go through this growing up. I was super freaking impatient. Super impatient. I made the wrong choice in women. I made the wrong choice in a lot of stuff. And I mean, the byproduct is I'm a single dad now, you know, with two kids. And I feel like God was kind of like, all right, cool. You're not going to listen to me? Boom. Well, here's what happens. And then while I'm here, I'm like, well, sheesh. Lord God, you really wanted me to slow down. And what a better way to tell me to slow down than to give me two kids that are special needs, that need my constant observation, that needs my constant presence. So I'm grateful. You know, I realized how to slow down, and he gave it to me in the form where I couldn't understand. Like, here you go, bro. Here's these kids. And man, I'll tell you what, like they have taught me so much patience when I carry myself at work too, because inmates is a whole nother story, and we'll get to that, I'm sure, but that's a whole nother story. And I feel like I'm able to take the environment I'm in when I'm at work, whether it be coworkers, because they've got a bunch of drama too, and I try not to mix myself in with that drama, whether it be them or the inmates. And the inmates are just like little kids at school that are trying to see how far they can go, see what buttons they can push. And so that's a whole nother thing, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too off.
No, that's good. That's good. How about this? Was there a moment or person who first put boxing or fighting in front of you that made you interested with it?
So my dad used to watch boxing a lot. He was a big boxing fan. His favorite boxer was Salvador Sanchez. I don't know if you guys know who that guy is. He, unfortunately, he died really early. I think he died from a car crash. And but he was a bad mother lover, dude. Like I started watching some of his fights. He was bad. He was good. Well,
Salvador Sanchez,
Mexican fighter. He was really good.
A lot of good Mexican fighters, man.
Hey, but come on, let's not sell Manny Pacquiao short.
Yeah, he said he's the best Latino fighter, so we're good.
Well, I like Manny Pacquiao too, because hey, Floyd Mayweather, love him or hate him, he said my most difficult challenge was Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, because he had dodged him many years before he fought.
Hey, bro, honestly, I would have loved to have seen that fight if he
the
actually
peak,
like
right? The peak,
yeah, because he waited. I was like, oh. I
He's
hate
smart.
it. Yeah, he's
Mayweather's
smart.
too smart.
He wants to make that money.
Yeah, he's smart.
Yeah, he robbed us of a good show, but he made us $1 million.
He made his money.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, fudge. What was the question?
So it was your
I
pops.
said
It was your pops that put you into
Yes.
fighting.
My dad-
Well, no, it wasn't him. It was just him watching.
Yeah, so he was watching it. I would watch it here and there. Like I watched when Oscar De La Hoya he fought Manny Pacquiao. I watched when he fought Floyd Mayweather first, and then my parents they also ordered the Manny Pacquiao fight, so I saw Manny Pacquiao just destroy Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that guy needs to quit boxing. But so I remember watching those fights growing up. But what really got me into boxing wasn't my dad. It was actually I was gonna join back in 2010. I took my first semester of community college at Sacramento City College. And then I was going to join the kickboxing class there. But my friend, Joe Henderson, he was like this big, buff, half black, half white dude and just super jolly guy. He was like, hey, Javi, why don't we go do boxing? And I was like, can you spar there? He was like, yeah. And I was like, but I'm about to do this kickboxing class. He's like, oh, they don't spar there. I'm like, let's go to that boxing class, bro. So I have to give my friend Joe a shout out. He's the one that actually brought me to boxing.
Oh, okay.
And then,
there you go.
What's it called? We would train for the whole semester, and the final was having 3 sparring matches, which I don't remember how many I lost, but I know that Joe was a big dude. Like he's like about, I want to say like 6'2", 6'3". At the time, he was 270 pounds, and I was like 230, 235, and he just, boom, just laid it into me, just beat me up and gave me my first knockdown. Yeah, so he actually, shout out to my dad for exposing me to the world of boxing. But thank you to my friend Joe Henderson for bringing me into boxing, because ever since then I didn't want to stop. It was just something that just really clicked with me. It was going back to the loss of my father. I feel like God put that into me because it really saved me. It saved my life. I was able to go into the world of boxing and then going into Street Beefs West Coast as well. I joined it back in 2021 and. Thank God for putting the people in my life. I met my coach now, Johnny Mencia. He's the best coach in Reno, Nevada. I don't care what anyone says. Johnny Mencia, best coach out there. And he coaches at the UFC Gym in Reno. Yeah, so my coach took me from this guy that all I had was just like a background of picking stuff up from my Sac City College class. I did a little bit of time in UFC Gym in Sacramento before now it's unfortunately closed. So I had Coach Marcus coaching me. But it was Johnny Mencia that taught me the sweet science of boxing. And he took me from what they called me on Street Beefs. My fight name is TAKAMURA. They took me from TAKAMURA to the guy started calling me TAKAMURA 2.0. And that's when I won the title, was because of my friend and my coach, Johnny Mencia. So shout out to him. I feel like God just puts me exactly where he wants me to be, because it's what he wants for us, not what we want, you know?
Yeah.
So we have to put him first. And he put me exactly, even right now, this very moment, I feel like God is here. God is the reason why I'm here, you know? He put you in front of me. You're my friend, my friend at the gym and pastor. He works in mysterious ways, and here I am. And now I'm meeting this guy right here, this handsome devil over here too. Sheesh. It's crazy, man. God is great. God is great.
He is. Amen. So what did your parents think when you first got into the fighting world?
My dad was kind of like, cool. My mom was scared. My mom to this day has never been to any of my fights. I remember when I had a fight in Sacramento in 2024, I did Battle of the Badges for the first time. It's kind of like we were describing. It's a first responder versus first responder. Me being a correctional officer, I fought against another correctional officer, one of my fellow coworkers. Good dude. I have so much respect for this guy. Andrew Curzon, if you ever watched this, I have so much respect for you because you watched all of my Street Beefs fights. You saw that I was a champion on Street Beefs, and you still asked me very humbly, very generously, and you said, hey, my guy backed out of my fight. Can you please fight me? And I was going through divorce at the time. After the mother of my children, I ended up marrying a Salvadorian girl, and she caught her domestic battery on me. I don't know how much I can say on here, but it's already been said and done. She already
that you don't get in trouble.
No. Legally, it's all been sorted out. We're not in court anymore, so I'm pretty sure I could speak on it. But she caught her first domestic battery on me, and then so I was going through it, and she was trying to say I did it, And then luckily I recorded everything. So by the time the officers got there, they were like, hey, you said you recorded it? I was like, yeah. And so they looked at the whole recording. They saw that she initiated everything, and they were like, all right, cool. We're going to arrest her for domestic battery, first degree. And man, was she's spiteful, dude. She's like ran me through the ringer. I'm probably going to lose a lot of limelight with the ladies, but it's okay. But I remember the first time I was dating a woman after her, and she was like, I'm going to stop seeing you because are we dating the same guy Facebook group? So it's like the TAB, but on Facebook. And then I sat there and I was like, what? And then obviously I've got friends on there too. I'm not going to say who they are, but I've got friends on there too. And they were like, here's what was said. And I was like, oh, that's my ex-wife. Oh, that's cute. That's her punctuation. That's exactly her. That's funny. So yeah, I thought it was funny as heck. I'm like, well, and I just remembered God during that situation. The weapon forged against me shall prosper. So I left it alone. It is what it is.
That's good.
Yeah, so I don't have to take care of that. God will figure that one out. So there was that. Before I get sidetracked again, yeah, squirrel.
I think that was pretty clever. That very mindful of you to start recording, start filming, because I don't know what the statistics are, but I'm pretty sure if there's a report by a woman of being physically abused, the tendency I'm thinking will be believing that the male started it. Right?
Yes, yeah, no, I'm glad you said that because you're right. Statistically, when first responders respond, when cops respond to a domestic, a lot of the times the guy getting taken away. But I was able to beat the statistic because of the camera. So thank goodness honestly, I don't know what came over me. I'm going to put it again on God. But something just told me, hey, start recording. And I was hoping she would calm down. And it didn't work. Instead, she ended up beating me up. And I was like, you broke my heart.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy.
But ever since you're a father now, for how many years now?
He died December 21st, 2021. So it's been almost 5 years now. Coming this upcoming December, it'll be 5 years since he passed. And no, Joe, it doesn't get better, bro. You just learn you just put your faith in God. You just leave it in God's hands as much as you can, because we can try so hard, and I'm sure you know this as well. Honestly, you're a way better Christian than I am, bro.
No,
hands down.
That's not.
And
no, and probably not.
Stop.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I really believe, I don't have idols, thou shalt not worship false idols, but I do have people that he puts in my way, he puts in my life, and you're someone to look up to spiritually. 100%,
Oh, thanks.
So like with that being said,
God.
man, yes sir, amen. With that being said, like it's not going to get easier, brother, but you learn how to live with it. You just keep your eyes on him, and I promise you it gets better.
Yeah. It's day to day, it's a moment by moment. But you being a father now yourself, right? How has having kids changed the way you look back on your own upbringing and how your parents raised you?
So, growing in a Hispanic household, we all remember, we make fun of it now, la chancla, the mom throws the chancla at us and stuff.
The slippers, yeah.
The slippers, yeah. We all make fun of it. I feel like right now, I act like my parents sometimes, but then I try not to, if that makes any sense. Like sometimes I would feel like I would get spankings when I wasn't supposed to, but then again, who am I to judge that? But like one thing I never do as well as a parent, guys, one thing I don't do, and I can't say my parents did or didn't do it. I can't say, because I'm not them, so I cannot say that they ever spanked me out of like, I'm mad at you, I'm gonna spank you. Whenever, because I do spank my kids, and I'm not one of those weirdos where I like abuse my kids and stuff like that. I spank my kids, but I make sure that I'm like, okay, you're gonna get a whooping because I already told you once, I told you twice, and now it's time for me to give you spanking. So I try to go in there as calm as possible, and I do my thing. And then, after it's all said and done, I'm like, look, I told you that you were going to get spanked. And that, mind you, with my son having the autism, my daughter having fragile legs, it's kind of like hard, but I don't go in there and like say like little baby words to them. I'm not like, you do bad, me give you pop. No, I try to explain to them as much as I can. Like, yeah, you know, but it's okay. Come here, you know, afterwards, you know, give them a hug, whatever, explain to them why it happened. And
Yeah.
cool.
That's good.
And then sometimes too, when I see my son, like, I don't know, like scrape his knee, or when I see my daughter kind of like she gets hit by something, like I run to them immediately, I comfort them, and I'm like, cool, hey, go ahead and cry. Feel your feelings. Do it. Because, you know, like, the sooner you can feel your feelings, the sooner you can be strong again. Let's go. And then, you know, they're all safe in my arms and stuff. It's pretty cool. I like being a dad. And that's how I treat inmates at work too. But before I get off subject.
So what you're saying is there's been instances in your upbringing that, in the discipline part, that you've decided to not implement, and maybe change it up to where, okay, there's an explanation why spanking happened, and you're affirming your love for them. Because I was disciplined too, physically, you know, physically, more often than I would like to.
Yes, that part, yeah.
But so that's good. That's good. Then we're gonna go from your origin story. We're gonna go to your badge. You becoming a correctional officer. So before the gloves come on professionally, you had another calling. So when did you become? What made you become a correctional officer?
Shout out to my best friend, Anthony Silva. I remember one day, it was December 2020. No, sorry, I lied. It was December 2013. My friend Anthony and I was working at Teriyaki Chicken Express in Sacramento, California. Sacramento people, if you know, you know. And it's off of Kiefer Boulevard. And then my friend Anthony, back when we still had Del Taco on the same street, in the same shopping center, he was working at the Del Taco. He and I worked together at Del Taco. So we went through 4 years of high school together. We were never friends. We knew who we were. We didn't become friends until after we had graduated high school, started working at Del Taco together, and then started going to Sacramento City College together. He became my best friend like instantly, and he was somebody to look up to a lot. So when he came up to me, he was like, "Hey, bro, let's become correctional officers." My first question was "What's that?" He's like, "Prison guards, bro." And I'm like, "Do they make good money?" He was like, "Yeah, you get retirement and benefits." I'm like, "How do I do that?" And so we go online. I turned the application in. I didn't think anything of it, you know. And then I got my start date, which conveniently was February 25th of 2014, the next year. And then I showed it to my exam, and fast forward now, I'm here. So
nice.
So if it wasn't for Anthony, I wouldn't be here. Again, God, man. God puts the people in my life that are the right people, and he puts me where he wants me to be. So shout out to God again. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Is that what brought you to Reno?
Oh, yes, it was.
So is it the one at Susanville?
Yeah, okay. So my first prison was California Correctional Center, and I started there in August 24th, 2015. So I lived in Susanville from August 24th of 2015 to August 10th or 15th of 2019. I moved out to Stead, and I moved out to Stead because, the mother of my children was doing all of her prerequisites at a Lassen Community College over in Susanville, California. And when she got all those prerequisites, she applied for Carrington College out here. So when she got accepted, I was like, hey, I'll bite the bullet. I'll make the commute up to Susanville. You just worry about being out here, and I'll work weekends. That way you can have the weekdays that you need to go to school. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I have water. Yeah, it helps.
Makes sense now. Yeah, so that's what brought me to Reno. And then after she got her nursing career, she got her first job, and then she kind of gave me she kind of gave me the bird and was like, I'm leaving. I'm a nurse now. And like to this day, man, it's just like whatever. She tries to be petty. I think she's mad that she left and she like didn't see me break, but I feel like it was necessary. Like I said, like 2 months, literally like 2.5 months literally after she left, my dad passed away. So I feel like it was in God's plan for me to take that first hit to prepare me for that even bigger blow. Since I was already there, I was like, here, you think that hurts? You know, here's this one. This is what I was really trying to prepare you for, son. And I was like, cool, bring it on.
That's two heavy moments in life. You got the top two of the top three. The other one was moving houses. I'm glad you didn't meet me during that time. You would have been in the middle of moving.
Oh man,
I know.
Yeah, dude.
No, but yeah, that's tough, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Two challenging times in 2 months apart. That's pretty wild. Yeah, you're right, dude. I don't think you'd be here if it wasn't for God.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Like that was hard too. Like I still struggle with submission. Like, I still struggle letting him take the wheel. You know, there's no excuse for it. I should just be able to give him the wheel, but again, here comes the excuse. The muscle memory of the last 35 years of my life, or at least 33 years, where I felt like I was in charge and I was trying to do everything by myself. The last 2 years, I feel like I've gotten so much closer to God. Mm-hmm. But like, so I'm trying to do a lot better, giving him the wheel. But it's a struggle. You know?
Yeah. Of course. Moment by moment, dude. It just depends on what kind of temptation you're going through, what kind of struggle you're going through, you know. And it's just the perfect timing of mistakes, and then you just blow up, right? It's just you can never tell.
Yeah.
So, but what's the biggest or a misconception people have about being a correctional officer?
I think a lot of people think that correctional officers are glorified babysitters. They are, but they're not. So being a babysitter, yeah, a lot of the times I feel like I'm babysitting a bunch of grown-ass men that are not being logical men, and they're all emotional and stuff.
Undisciplined.
Yeah, and again, the lack of the father figure, because just to kind of shed a little bit of light in my co-parenting, my son steps out of line a lot on his mom. Like I've seen it. I see him do it. She gives him a lot of free reign. I'm trying not to shit on her parenting style at all whatsoever. She's doing what she can. You know, God bless her. She's doing what she can. But then when it comes to, like, I remember an exact incident to give you an example. My son being autistic, he runs away, and I remember one time he ran away on me twice. He ran away on her once that she told me about. The boyfriend at the time told me more. And then she finally came forward. I think earlier, it was last year, I think she brought it up. She said, hey, heads up, Ezekiel ran out on me again. Luckily, my boyfriend at the time caught up to him and everything was good. But he already went and switched the locks, and she put, I guess it was like one of those locks where instead of a lever or whatever, you just put a keyhole on both sides.
Yeah.
So he switches to that, and she was like, you might want to change your lock too, just in case. Well, we're here now about like a year later, and luckily he still hasn't ran away. But again, that just goes to show the parenting style. He knows that with me, there's consequences.
Yeah.
With mom, I don't know how she does her parenting style, but he knows who he can get away with stuff with. He doesn't when we do exchanges in the same room. All of a sudden, well, mom's here now. I don't have to listen to you. And I'm like, yeah, I'll see you in 3 days, boy. Like, we'll see how you feel in 3 days.
So it's not. So when you say babysitting, it makes it sound like it's easy, right? Because it's not. I'm thinking it must be difficult.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, when it comes to corrections in California, I can only speak for California. I don't know how corrections is nationwide, but definitely we were briefed in the academy, and we have annual training every year, that corrections, out of all law enforcement, at least in California, has the highest suicide rates. So if it's just babysitting, why are a lot of people killing themselves, you know? And then come to find out, like 10 years down the road, I experience a lot of BS that happens in corrections. I can't speak too much on it because, again, I can say stuff, but then I can't prove it, and then I also have to be mindful of what I say. But from what I've seen where the job can get to you, and sometimes the lack of solidarity. Me, when I walk in there, I give everybody compliments, like not in not in a butt kissing kind of way, but I'm just like my thing.
Sincere.
Yeah, because when I come in there, You're gonna have to bleep me out. So I literally walk up to all my guys, bro, because I walk up to all my dudes, and they'll attest for this. I'll sit there and be like, "What's up, big dick?" And I'll be like, "What's up, daddy?" And they're like, "Fuck!" And then you just see the look on their face because they're used to me saying that. But the look on their face, and they're just like, "Oh, like they're getting." I'm giving them a compliment. And for me, knowing what kind of environment we're in, bro, I do it on purpose because for one, it's me. I want to see my guys smile. Like I want to see everybody smile. I want you guys to be happy. For one, not in a people-pleasing kind of way, but it's like, hey, I don't know what's going on. Here's why, though. I personally don't know what's going on in anyone's life. You just opened up about the loss of your father. That's fucking tragic, bro. Let's be real.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks. And again, I don't know what anyone's going through. I mean, I told you. I think I told you down. I don't know. I told you. I don't know if I told you downstairs. Like, what's up, my lucky TT? But I don't know what you guys are going through, right? So like, who am I to make your day worse? You know, I'd rather be the reason why you take a minute and you laugh. You know, I'd rather change your smile because, especially in my line of work, I want to, not that I want to take glory in it, but I want to know that you at least didn't go home and fucking put a barrel in your mouth and blow your fucking brains out. Because that negative environment, whether it be from staff, inmates, it could be a combination of a lot of things when people take their lives. I mean, we got a guy in my line of work he's gone through what they say. I don't know the guy personally. They say he's gone through 6 divorces. So that guy's gonna work until he dies. You know?
Did you mean with the statistic that you mentioned, was that with the correctional officers?
Yes. Yeah. So corrections.
Shoot.
You're good. Corrections has the highest suicide rate out of all law enforcement. And training, I forgot whether they told us if that was in California or nationwide, but we have higher suicide rates than just the regular street cops do.
Oh wow.
So yeah, we have it's a very negative environment, and I'm not. I do my best to like stay away from all of it. Like I've already got my own way to handle things. It's not the correct way, but I have a way to handle everybody. Like again, like how I said, I open up with my coworkers. I have my big thing with my coworkers, and I do it to all types of people. You can ask Eric too, or mutual friend Eric.
Yeah.
Eric always tells me, he's like, you have a very strong personality. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, your personality is very strong and aggressive. And that's why you don't have a girlfriend. I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And then he's like, but also what it does for dudes, it activates their fight or flight mode. And they see that you're big, you lift heavy plates, and you fight. So a lot of the times they don't want to challenge you. But, you know, that's also the reason why you're single. And I'm like, fuck, you're right. So with all that being said, bro, fuck, I forgot what I was going with
Tell
this.
him to be honest, yo.
Yeah. No, I saw, bro. Eric's one of my best friends, dude. Shout out Eric Perez. If you're watching this, bro, like,
Another strong dude.
yeah. I'm telling you, I've literally my mother growing up. She would tell me, "Hey, you got the number of friends you have. You're only going to be able to count on one hand." And boy, was she right. So, because the people that have been very impactful in my life were my oldest friend, Carlos Lopez. He and I grew up together. We've known him. I'm 35 now. That fool's turning 36 in 2 months. We've known each other since we were 8. We were in the 3rd grade, bro. It's my oldest friend. And again, when I was saying like I went through the loss, the breakup with the mother of my children, the loss of my father, the divorce, he was one of the people that I was crying. Not realistically, but like figuratively, I was crying in his ear a lot. He would just listen, and he would just like, you know, make sure I was good. Eric was another guy that would do that. My friend Anthony. So I just have like the handful of friends. My friend Yi over in Sacramento, California. Yi Win, if you're watching this too. Like I look up to all of my friends for like a lot of things. Eric, we both know Eric, dude. When we met Eric, he was struggling going to UNR. He was my age. I'm 35. He's like 33, 34. He was using his military money to make ends meet, struggling college student, and then eventually had a baby on the way, and now he's got 2 kids. But eventually he was struggling, and he was very inspirational to me. The dude came out here from Vallejo, California, after he got his associates at one of the community colleges over there, got accepted to UNR, came out here. Again, God being at work, I met him at UFC Gym. He's the one that sold me my membership. I walk in, all like, oh, my dad died. My girl left me. And then he's sitting there like, man, my dad died too. Like, here's what happened with my stuff. And I was like, man, so your dad died too? And then we're just like bonding. Yeah, but here's his membership. I'm kidding. I know that sounds horrible. No, but he's like, now he was really good people, man. Like I remember the way he and I became friends. I would come to UFC Gym. I was going through therapy at UFC Gym. That was my outlet. And then I would talk to Eric every single time he was working. I would just talk to him.
Yeah.
We exchanged numbers. I was talking to him. And then one day he stopped showing up. And then I forgot how much time went by, but he finally texted me. And I was like, yeah, bro, what happened? You stopped going to the gym. He was like, he told me what happened, and then he was like, hey, but do you lift, right? I was like, yeah. He was, or do you just box? I'm like, no, I like lifting too. He's like, well, I go to the Anytime Fitness off Mayan. And I was like, want to train with me there? And I was like, where's that at? And I was like, oh, it's 20 minutes from the house. Yeah, I'll come over, bro. So that's how you and I got to know each other, because it was because of him. And again, God puts people in my way, in my life, to put me where he needs me to be. I met him there, and then I met you through Eric, and then we just clicked from there, man.
Yeah. Paulo was there.
Oh, yeah, Paulo. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He was the one, bro. I hated Paulo. So the first time I hit 3 plates, I hit 315 the first time. Now, Paulo's the strongest dude at the gym. He's also another Malaki Titi. He's another Filipino dude. He's in there, bro. And I'm like, bro, Paulo, I hit 315. I was all happy, dude. This guy, he's like, oh, yeah? Gets on the bench, does a reverse grip on it, the weaker grip, picks it up and just pounds it like 8 times and racks it. I'm like, yeah, fuck you, dude. Now he's cool. He's good people too.
These guys are the cool guys in the gym. You know? I'm just happy that they talked to me when I was there.
Stop, bro. No, you have a lot to offer, bro.
I was weak. So how about this? How do mental toughness skills from the job at the correctional show up in the ring, or is it vice versa for you? Is it you being a fighter that you bring into the work, or from work you bring to fighting?
That's a really good question. And thinking about it, I want to say it's a little bit of both. I feel like being in a high stressful environment, whenever I'm actually like in a fight or whether I'm actually sparring, and just your control over yourself, you have 3 opponents in the ring. The first opponent is the obvious one. It's the one right in front of you that's punching you in the face, right? That's your first opponent. The second opponent is the crowd, because a lot of people, they don't do very well in front of crowds. I remember my first Battle of the Badges fight that I did back in 2023. I saw a lot of my colleagues that I went with, they were kind of like nerves, and I'm sitting there like, man, bro, I can't wait to go out there and have fun. I already had like 6 or 7 street beefs fights at the time. So it was just like street beefs. So I was like, oh yeah, dude, I'm excited, bro. Like I'm a little nervous because like I'm not used to being in an arena like this. You know, we do it in our backyard over in street beef. So I'm just like, it's a little different, but it's cool, you know. And so I feel like that aspect kind of keeps me kind of good under pressure. And then also the job. Like I can't let my feelings get in the way when I'm fighting. So yeah, the third opponent, sorry, before I squirrel, the third and the biggest opponent in the ring, bro, is you. The minute you tell yourself you can't do it, you can't. So you have to conquer those 3 things. So taking that from the ring, bringing it over to corrections, whenever there's incidents, like, I mean, luckily I've also have good partners. Like I remember one of the last incidents that I was in earlier this year, one of the inmates was, they were doing their basic gangbanger stuff. And then one of the inmates was getting mouthy, and then I started getting mouthy too. And my partner just, boom, pulls me back. I was like, no, Q. And I'm like, thanks, bro. I was getting sucked into it, bro. So I'm not perfect, right? Like we all have those moments. And I was sitting there and I started shouting back, and he was like, no, stay in the line. Like, oh yeah, thanks, bro. So there's still times where it's not perfect. You know, I have losses in street beefs. I've in street beefs on 5 and 3. So I've won 5 times. I have 3 losses. In Battle of the Badges, I have 1 win and 1 loss. So I lose too, you know. So you're gonna lose. You're not gonna win every battle. But I feel like the learning experience from each one of them, and like in everything that I'm able to acquire now, especially being put into the other high stress environment and the other high stress situations in my life, like a big contributing factor. You know, God is involved in all of this, yes, and a big contributing factor I feel that also happened after God. Well, actually, it was God, because God gave me everything I needed to survive. Right? God blessed me with the fact that I'm a fighter. God blessed me with the fact that I'm a correctional officer. God blessed me with the people that put me there. And God blessed me with the reasons why I have those under my belt. If it wasn't for my fighting, and if it wasn't for if it wasn't for my fighting, and if it wasn't for my being a correctional officer, I feel like the death of my father, I would have handled that way differently, you know? So I have that. I have God first and foremost to thank, and God gave me the instruments, the weapons that I needed in my arsenal in order to combat the next big fight. So if it wasn't for that, they kind of both go hand in hand. Because again, fast forward to when I was going through that domestic with my ex-wife, when she started attacking me and stuff, and just the way I was able to keep composed and keep recording.
So is that like, I'm imagining from your answer, the third opponent being us. I'm imagining the mental toughness will be, though it's painful, you may feel behind in points, or his punches might be hurting you much more than you'd like it to. The mental toughness could be like, keep going, just keep fighting until the bell rings.
Yeah.
For a fight, in the fight.
So I'll tell you what, the first time I experienced that, the first time I experienced how important mental toughness is in the ring was when I was going up against my second opponent in Street Beefs, this guy named Silas. He was already a big name in Street Beefs. And I remember fighting this kid with very like below average training. I was hitting the punching bag if I was lucky, and weight training. That was the only training I had. This was before my boxing coach. So I didn't really have a lot of coaching. I just went in there like they did. But I was so fortunate because the entire fight, I was defeating myself. This kid was beating me up, dude. He was just like, he was killing me. He would hit me and I wouldn't. You know, I wouldn't be able to hit him back. But I remember I was about to give up. He just kept fucking mentally, and I never told him this. So if he's watching this, Silas, if you're watching this, you would have beat my ass if you came in for that third round. So luckily, we were fighting in 110-degree weather. I overheat. I'm overheating right now. Like I overheat really easy, right? And this guy, he and I were both fighting in the 100. Mind you, we were the last fight, so we were already roasting for like about 4 or 5 hours out there. And then we went in for the first round. He killed me the first round. I was getting a little bit better in the second round. He still took the second round. And then we were in between rounds. They come up to my corner. Hey, your opponent's unable to fight. You win. Just like that.
Wow.
The mental toughness, right?
Mental toughness, just keep going, no matter what the punishment is, right? And then the mental toughness being a correctional officer will be to calm down.
Big time.
Because even though they're egging you into getting down, right, with them, mental toughness is like, not gonna get into it.
It's kind of like arguing with a drunk person. How stupid do you feel? You know what I'm saying? Like arguing with a drunk person, or arguing with someone when they're angry or when you're angry. Like how dumb do you feel? You know, it's kind of like that. It's like they're obviously like trying to purposely provoke you. So why go down to their level? I literally treat them. Again, all glory to God. He gave me 2 special needs kids. And I have openly told the inmates that were trying to egg me on, I got special needs kids. You're going to have to try harder. Like my son's autistic. You're going to have to try harder. You know, just kind of comparing them. Basically, I was like, I remember I try to keep it as professional as possible. So, you know, I'm not supposed to be talking smack. But like, I'll get real with them. And I'm like, and I'll not like a heart to heart, but like I'll get real with them. And I'll tell them, like, dude, like I get it. Like yesterday we were like yelling at each other or whatever, like, oh, well, I was trying to do this and you wouldn't let me, or like, they'll always come back. They'll remember you more than they remember me way more than I remember them. But they'll always come back. And then I was like, yeah, dude. So that day, like, you know, just do what I say. It's very simple, and then you're good. You know.
Yeah. You should be cleared.
Yeah, like I'm very easy to please. Just I'm gonna give you what you got coming. Just if you're gonna ask me stupid questions, I'm gonna definitely say no. And if you're gonna, like, if you at least give me what I want, then I might give you a yes. Like we don't show favoritism, but at the same time, it's like some of the guys know how to approach me versus the other guys, and then it's cool too because inmates talk. It's prison, so all the inmates talk to each other, all the staff talk to each other, so you get a feedback all the time. And like I just had an inmate tell me on Monday when I was working my double. He was like, "Oh, I already heard about you." They were like, I was like, "Really?" Like, yeah, you're pretty cool. I was like, "I heard you're the fighter," and like I heard you're easy to talk to. I'm like, "Oh, thanks, bro. Appreciate it." Like, sweet. Thanks for letting me have a good shift. A day that they don't end up in what's called the hole. We call it ADSEG, administrative segregation, but a day that they're not going to the hole because they assaulted me or fought or did something stupid, it's cool because I fucking hate writing, dude.
Has that happened, Javi? Have you had altercations physically?
No. Thankfully, no. I can safely say that I've gone through 10, almost 11 years of being a correctional officer, and I haven't used force.
Okay. How about them towards you?
No.
Copy.
I've never been assaulted. I've never been battered. Thankfully, again, a lot of the times I'm able to get myself out of the situation because of my mouth. I'm able to talk myself out of it.
And you could read what's about to go down if you don't.
To an extent, yeah. I mean, if the guy comes up and he kind of like, he's a little too quiet, or like, here's what I do. Like if an inmate comes up to me, the first thing I'm doing is I'm looking at him, I'm paying attention to him, and then I look over. And then I look over. And then I look over. And I look over. And then I'm, keep my attention on him. And then they're surprised too, because a lot of them, so what they do sometimes is they just come up to you to test you, trying to see how receptive you are and seeing if they can fool you, basically, right? A lot of times too, they come up and talk to you to distract you because there's some other bullshit happening, and that's their job. They're coming up to you to talk to you specifically to keep you distracted. So I'm just always watching.
I see. Yeah. So it's obvious to me that your faith and your upbringing has shaped you how to handle pressure from day to day over there at the corrections.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You're seeing God's hand in everything. As this whole interview, you've been saying it.
I see it. Yeah.
God's hand. God places people here and there. So when you're in a pressure moment, how does your faith how does our faith fall into play for you there, or come into play for you when you're in a situation that like, oh, this is about to go down? Is it your training, or is it more so your faith, or is it both?
Well, I want to say that my training is the product of my faith. I can't say that they go hand in hand. Again, you put God first, you seek the kingdom of heaven first, and the rest will follow. So I feel like unfortunately I was a piece of shit growing up, and my parents took me to church until I was 12, and then I stopped going to church. And so I grew up with the Lucifer mindset, with the devil mindset, being a god of self, thinking that I'm able to handle everything. But even though I didn't return to God until I was 33, just like 2 years ago is when I finally fully returned to God. I felt myself softening, getting more humble by the time, like, let's say when my baby mama, when the mother of my children, when she left me back in 2021, that's kind of what softened me. That was like the first blow to becoming humble. So to let him finally talk to me. My dad just dying, that's what shattered me. And like, I feel like everything was in progression. His timing is perfect. So I feel like the lifeline, like the timeline that Christ was alive, 33 years. I finally died myself at 33. And then when I finally turned 34, I was a lot more humble, I listened a lot more to God. I listened a lot more I was able to follow him a lot more, and it's hard being a god of self, literally being the one that would say, like, I will never bow to something that I have never seen. And then to here I am, being a product of everything that he wanted me to be, I think a little late, but how can I think a little late when I have faith in him and it's his timing? His timing is perfect. So this is just on time.
It's good. I like it. This is what you call a testimony. You're giving your testimony. You're testifying God's work in your life. So we'll shift now to you being a coach. How did you go from being a fighter to coaching at the UFC gym here in Reno?
So just being consistent. I just showed up, and then one of the coaches.
So you trained there?
Yeah. So I was training there first. The first couple of months I was training there. Then one of the coaches, he had a really weird schedule, and he wouldn't show up all the time. So one day I remember the owner, Mimi Strickler, if you're watching this, you're a fucking badass woman. She runs it. Her and her husband own it. They both put in work. She's there all the time. She runs it. Mm-hmm. She is the fucking backbone of that place. Not to take anything away from Dave. He's a fucking badass too. He's like a good father figure, like both of them. Again, God putting me in the right place at the right time. She's like a really good mother figure for me, and he's a really good father figure for me. So I have both of them to thank. And I have Mimi to thank actually for this one. Well, again, first and foremost, all glory to God for putting me there, right? But I've got Mimi to thank because one day, one of the coaches didn't show up, and she asked me, hey, can you coach the class? I have never coached a class in my life, but sure, like I'll do anything once. And so I started coaching. I coached a couple classes for free just because I was there. I was already going to be there training anyways. So I coached a couple classes. Then she was kind of like, hey, I want to actually offer you that coach's position because he's not reliable and you're here way more than he is. Basically, not to bash the guy or nothing. He was a good dude. But that's how I was able to pick up that job. And then
nice.
Then Coach Johnny came into the picture. My coach came in, and he took me from the little wannabe coach that I was and made me a real coach, bro. Honestly, I have God to thank for putting Johnny in my life, and he's also another brother in faith. So I'm just really fortunate to have him there.
That's nice. That's nice. That's great. What's your philosophy when you're training someone who's scared or is doubting themselves? What do you impart?
I love this question, and I'm going to take it back to corrections.
Yeah, go ahead.
In the Department of Corrections in California, whenever we're having training, don't hate me for this department, but they always have a saying. It's called slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So that's the first thing I tell everybody. Like, hey, dude, I see them, we all know this because we're our own biggest critic. Every single time we go and try something new, we're already beating ourselves up. We're already thinking how we can back ourselves, how we can back out of this, how we can save face. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we're already thinking that, right? Because we don't want to look like a bunch of dumbasses. We don't want to fuck up all the time. So I'm dumbasses. I don't want to fuck up all the time. So when I tell people, I'm like, hey, bro, you've got 1 million tries. How many tries do we have? 1 million. Relax. I was like, those 2 kids over there, those are my kids. They're both special needs. I work in a prison. I got all the time in the world for you. I have so much patience. Let's get this work. I'm here for you. And so I get the nerves out of them, and I'm like, you got 1 billion tries. So let's keep going, okay? You're not going to get it right the first time. And then I'll sit there and I'm like, hey, slow down. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Slow is what? Smooth. Smooth is what? Fast. And I keep it simple. I keep boxing simple. Again, shout out to my coach, Johnny Mencia. I keep boxing very simple. I throw a lot of 1s and 2s, 1, 2, 3s. A lot of my combos are very easy. For me, I fight how I train, and I train how I fight. Department of Corrections. You train how you fight how you train, right? So with that being said, I'd rather you go into my class and you walk out thinking it's boring as fuck, because it's boring as fuck, but you walk out remembering, fuck, he only made us do 3-4 combos, but boy, do I remember those 3-4 combos. Because out there between... Yeah. I don't know. I think we had this conversation once, actually. I remember you coming up to me at the gym and you were like, Javi, you're a fighter, so what would you do if a guy wanted to fight you on the street? And I was like, you ready? You're like, yeah. I turned around and started running away from you. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember.
And I was like, you were like, you're going to have to bleep this one. Because I remember, and again, I apologize because I know you're a pastor. I apologize. But I remember saying.
You're saved by grace, man. Okay.
Thank you. I remember telling you, it's 20, at the time I think it was 2023, right? I was like, it's 2023. Mm-hmm. Everyone right now is a lame, a punk, or a bitch. And unfortunately, everyone's going to be emotional based. So for me, I've got 2 special needs kids. I've got a 6-figure career. I've got too much to lose. I'm not going to piss it all away because I got in my feelings with that guy, and I've decided to fight him because, again, I don't know what type of training he has. I don't know where his friends are at. I don't know if he's by himself. I don't know if he's got a gun. I don't know if he's got a knife. I don't know if he's been having a bad day and he's just trying to look for trouble. I don't know what the other guy's got. So it's better to just look like a punk and just, all right, cool, I'm just going to walk away, but I'm going to live and you're probably going to be out of prison. So we're good.
Yeah, it's good. I remember the other story too, where you kept saying no to this guy who wants to engage in a fight with you at the gas station.
Oh, man.
And then you finally gave up and you said, you really want to fight? You want to finish this? Do you remember?
Oh,
and then you went to get your mouthpiece.
Oh,
or your mouth guard.
Okay, I got this.
And then he's like, wait.
Damn.
You remember that one?
If I could put her in investigation for this one, it's okay. So it wasn't at the gas station, but I do remember this story. It was by the gas station. I remember this one. I remember, so I was picking up I was with my ex-wife. She had 3 kids. I had 2. 2 of her kids were special needs. They were autistic. The other one wasn't autistic, and he wasn't special needs. He was actually very, very smart. And I remember picking up her youngest son, her autistic son. We were off of exit 21 going east. I forget what exit that is. I think it's Greg Street or something. And then we were coming back, and I remember this guy in a Tacoma in front of me. He already, I road rage, and I need to stop. I need to be better. And I remember he was just kind of like being weird with his hands, telling me to stop, slow down. And I'm like, I'm not doing anything. So I got all heated. Then I got in my feelings. I know we're not perfect. And then I remember I was just like being a dumbass. And whenever he would change lanes, I changed lanes with him. And then there was the light right before we back on the freeway because I had to go westbound and then take northbound to go back up to Stead. And then I remember he flips me off and the light turns red. And I'm like, I'm going to go see what the fuck his problem is. So I get out of the car and I'm like, hey man, we got a problem? Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm the Highlander behind you and you flip me off. So I don't know if there's a problem. And then I said it just like that. I wasn't like, you mother. I wasn't yelling at him. I came at him hella calm. And then he was like, oh, no, it's my friend. He's right behind you. I was flipping him off. And then I looked back and there's another guy behind me. And I was like, oh, my bad. Well, that was weird. And then he was like, man, you're a bad motherfucker. You're bad. Like, nah, man, it's just like, if there's a problem, like, I'm not going to run from the fight. Like, if you're going to, like, if you want to, like, fucking endanger me and whatever, and I got, like I'm being a dad right now, so if you're trying to endanger us, I prefer you don't, but, but I'm glad that nothing happened, so. Nothing happened.
That's the edited version, right?
Okay. I don't road rage anymore. That was 2023. I learned my lesson.
What's your proudest moment you've had coaching someone else?
So I've got one student that is my favorite student. Her name is Kaylee, and unfortunately, she developed Tourette's. Not that it stopped her or anything. She's still a fucking badass. I don't recognize race, but I have to say this for the context of the story. She's this little white girl that I met at age 12, and I started training her, and she was my best student because I fight Mexican style. I like to fight in the pocket, and this little girl at 12 years old started sparring with me, Mexican style, pressuring me, pushing me back, and I was like, you're cool, I like you. That's one of my proudest moments in coaching. When it comes to a student, just in general, one of the proudest moments of all time is just, again, how I make people feel comfortable when I coach. Like I'm able to actually coach people, and I never knew it was a talent that I had. Again, all glory to God, putting me in the right place at the right time, putting the right people. Again, with Mimi Strickler and Coach Johnny Mencia, believing that I was worth the investment, and now I'm here. So I have to give. I don't do this alone. As much as we try to feel like we do this alone, everything is already orchestrated for us. We got to make the choice, and I'm not here because of me. I'm here because he wanted me to be here.
Nice.
He put the right people that I was able to listen to in my life. So I just...
Yeah. It sounds to me that one of your biggest piece as a coach is, do you impart confidence? Be confident enough to keep trying, to keep going, right?
I like that. Yeah. That's one way to look at it.
Sounds to me, because you said, how many times do we have? How many tries do we get? 1 million. So keep trying, right? So I think you're giving them confidence to know that, yeah, you're not going to get it right away, but we're going to keep repeating it. And because I think practice makes it perfect. And
Absolutely.
Practice makes me confident, you know, and it's that's a good thing, man.
Real quick, like take me out of my element. Imagine my first day preaching. How dumb am I going to feel? You know, I've never done it before. Whereas, you know, anybody else coming in doing boxing for the first time, it's like, the thing is to not help you. It's to help you to not feel like I'm inadequate, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough. It's like, no, you get 1 billion tries. And then I tell them too, I was like, hey, my first day, the only difference between you and I is our first day. My first day was January in 2010. Your first day is now. That's the only difference between me and you. And look at where I'm at, and look at where you can be. Mm-hmm. And you could be better than me because I didn't have a coach for the first 3 years of me boxing. I didn't have a coach. I didn't have direction. You know? So
It's good. I like that. So now the fighter. Let's talk about the fighter, man. So walk me through your Street Beefs West Coast journey. You're on 5'3" there. So I've seen the videos. You sent me the links the first time we started talking at the gym. So it's a backyard setting. Have you seen those, Mikey?
Oh,
Backyard setting, and there's what's it made of? Was it just like, is it like a UFC octagon type of thing?
So the very first ring I was ever in, it was just like a chain link fence, kind of in the shape of an octagon, and there was dirt, and I freaking hated the dirt because all of my power I have no power when I'm fighting in dirt, so it sucks. And then later, just in 2025, they finally put matting down, and I was so happy.
Okay.
I could finally actually throw power into my shot. That was awesome. So
how'd you get in there? Who recruited you? Did a headhunter find you in the gym or something? Like, hey, you big? How about fight over here?
No, actually, I started watching Street Beefs, I think, in like 2017 when they had they're based out of Virginia. So I started watching them. And I was like, man, that would be cool to do. You know, I'm already 3 years out of boxing. I had a huge break in between boxing for sure. So I was already 3 years out of boxing at the time. But then I was like, man, I kind of want to do that one day. Then 2020, I think it was. No, it was 2021, I believe. No, it was 2020. In 2020, they started a West Coast branch. They called it Street Beefs West Coast. And then when they told me that it was going to be California, Nevada, and Arizona, I was like, cool, I could do that. And so I joined in. My first fight was in April of 2021. I went there. I experienced my first loss. It was really eye-opening. Again, me coming right out of the couch, thinking I could go fight, I got humbled really quick, especially by a guy that was like 320 pounds, cut all the way down to 220, and that was my opponent. I was like, oh, crap. Yeah. I got my lights rocked, dude. And then my second fight was against that Silas guy, and I picked up traction from there. I was gonna quit. I wasn't training. I didn't have a coach. I was like, man, I'm just gonna quit. And then the baby mama breaking up with me, that's what pushed me to have my third fight. That's where I ended up.
So did you message them saying like, hey, I want to get in?
Yeah. So what they do is that you could do they have a Facebook group and an Instagram. What you can do is you could join the Facebook group, which is what I did. I joined the Facebook group, and they want you to be respectful, courteous, just be uplifting. So what they do is that they want you to post videos of yourself, comments, like stuff, just be active. And then while you're posting your training, when the fight event happens, they'll always do a post, and they're kind of like, hey, the fight date is this day at this discrete location at this time, whatever. Sign up. And then they go through like some live videos, and they'll choose people. Mm-hmm. And I got lucky again. I got fortunate where I got picked up for that April event, my very first one in 2021.
Yeah.
they picked me, and I feel like I picked up a lot of eyes. I feel my first couple fights, just because again I got a win against one of the high profile guys, so they do me a lot of favors. Not in a like I've got it, not in like I'm a big name or anything kind of way. I just feel like I feel like I have it with them to where like when I ask for something, I receive it, because it's like I'm not an asshole. I come off as humble with them as I do with you guys, just with everyone in general. I'm always uplifting. I never talk smack to anybody when I'm there. I literally, the same way I came across you in the gym when we first started meeting each other, and I would just smile and talk to you, is the same way I talk to everybody, the same way I talk to them. So it's got me everywhere, you know. So
yeah.
I'm getting off topic again.
No, you're good. How about those 3 losses? What did they teach you that the wins couldn't?
My first loss was train more. My second loss was train more. My last loss was actually last year. This one did not get uploaded, and I was so pissed. I was so mad because so I'll finish this story first. That one taught me to train more too, because it was right after I benched 370 at the Anytime Fitness, and then they told me, hey, the fight's in August or whatever. So I was like, crap, now I'm 248 right now, and I fight at like 220, 225. So I've got 5 weeks to cut down all that weight. So I ended up cutting down all that weight. It took me about 5 weeks to go from 249 to 223. I was miserable, dude. I was miserable as hell.
You lose power, right?
That, and he gave me my first knockdown in 15 years. My friend Joe, the guy that introduced me to boxing in 2010, gave me my first knockdown. I hadn't been knocked down. I have a good chin. I haven't been knocked down in 15 years. This guy, Broly Black, shout out to you, bro. I heard you're going pro. Keep it up. He put me in the dirt. He put me in the ground. It was crazy. The first round, he put me in the ground, and I was concussed. And I don't remember the fight. So I was looking forward to the video, and then they hit us up the following Monday. The events are always on a Saturday. They hit us up on the following Monday, and they were like, hey, the first phone we used to record, it overheated, so it didn't catch the first round. And the second phone that we used to record the rest of the fight didn't have any memory space left. So your guys' fight is lost. And I was
dang.
Bro, I was pissed because I don't remember the fight. I got concussed the first round. And so I sat there, and mind you,
Shoot.
so backtrack, my fight name is Takamura. It comes from the anime Hajime no Ippo. It's a boxing.
My brother will know this. But,
Oh, for real?
yeah.
It's a boxing anime. I highly recommend it to you guys. It's a boxing anime, and it's about
You know it, Mikey? Okay, he knows it.
You do? You know it? It's about a kid named Ippo, and he's like getting bullied a lot, and he meets the guy that brings him to boxing. His name is Takamura Mamoru, and he meets him. And he kind of like, he doesn't beat anybody up. He's a pro, so he can't like fight anybody, but he scares the bullies away, brings Zebo to the boxing gym. And he's kind of like, you know, this is what boxing is. And then he's like, I want to be a boxer like you, Takamura. He's like, how can you when you're so weak and you're so timid and passive and you're a bitch, basically. And he's kind of like, but I want it really bad. And so it's cool because Takamura has you've seen it. Takamura, hands down, has the best fights in the whole manga, the whole anime. I'm caught up with all 1,500 chapters of the manga, by the way. Yeah, it's like that, bro.
Hey, that's a lot.
They got 3 seasons of the anime, and they've got 1,500 chapters more. It's longer than One Piece. So One Piece fans, suck it. It's better and longer than One Piece, that's what she said. So, one of the biggest fights, and why I'm so mad that they lost this fight is because when Takamura he became the Japanese champion in the first season of Hajime no Ippo. Then in the second season, he gets his first world title fight for WBC title against the champion at the time was Brian Hawk. You remember seeing that, right?
I just know the show, not the actual.
Oh, bro.
I need to watch it.
You got to get on there. We got all 3 seasons on Netflix right now. But so he's fighting. Takamura's fighting, and at one point, bro, you see Takamura in round 7. He goes through his fucking anime rage moment, and he gets knocked unconscious, but he's still standing and fighting. And in that moment, when they told me that, hey, you kept fighting, because they told me, hey, first round was Broly Black's, Second round was Broly Black. Third round could have gone either way. Fourth and fifth round were all you, bro. I was like, I can't wait to see. I was like, I can't wait to see this fight. If that's how you guys were saying it went down, I can't wait to see this fight. And then they disappoint me. And I was like, bro.
Yeah. They pay you. They pay you.
No, those are all exhibitions. We do not get paid.
No? Yeah. Cool.
I wish we did. That shit would be awesome.
So humility, it sounds like to me, humility is what losing teaches you or has taught you versus winning. Because it's hard to be humble when you win.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
Because you'd be like patting yourself on the back. Yeah, the training worked.
It worked
that
out.
technique was good, right? Yeah.
And that's a good way to put it. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, your losses. And I feel like you could take boxing and you can bring it to real life. I mean, when's the time that we do learn? We learn a lot through, we become humble with losses, right?
When we fall, yeah.
When we lose the girl, when we lose the opportunity.
Yeah.
When we lose a parent.
Yeah.
We have all these times when we lose something and it just puts us in that state of humility. And those are the best times to learn.
I agree.
And I feel like that's when a lot of my growth happened, is when I lost the mother of my children, when I lost my father, when I lost my marriage to my wife, when I lost so many things. Shoot, I remember when I killed 2 deer in February of 2022 and I lost my car. I was like, I'll never do liability insurance on a car again, especially if it's a Toyota. Sheesh. That goes $15,000 down the drain. Fudge.
How about this one? How about on the fighting side, right? The battle of the badges. You're fighting other officers. What's that culture like, dude? Like, I watched your last fight where you. No, I watched both. I watched the one that you won in, and then the other one you fought this big dude.
Yeah, he beat me up.
Yeah, I beat you up on that one. You put both on Facebook, and you weren't bashful about it. You know, you showed it. So. What's that culture like? Every officer fighting each other. What is it? What are you guys doing it for?
So a lot of people, they just do it just to, like, I guess for me, I was doing it specifically to blow off steam. My first fight was right after my divorce from my ex-wife. After she caught the domestic on me, I was like, my emotions were all over the place. I was trying to keep it together. You know, like on the surface, you can see I was keeping it together. If you ever talk to Eric, he'll tell you I was torn to shit, dude. I was going to the gym on no sleep after a double. I was torn up, dude. So I was going. So for me, personally, the first fight was an outlet. Again, shout out to my friend Andrew Curzon when he told me, hey, my opponent backed out, but I need a fight. Can you do it? I was like, I'm going through divorce right now, bro. I'm like low right now. So let me, like, how much time do I have before I can say yes or no? You got 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, I can't take it anymore, bro, but just to let you know, I'm in my feelings, but I'll take the fight. And then I remember, I think you saw the fight, right? So, like,
yeah,
I don't think we made it past the first 2 minutes of the fight. And then, like, he gave me a bunch of kudos, and he was like, bro, like, I've never been hit like that. You hit like a freight train. And I was like, bro, honestly, I'm just pissed off, bro. Because I'm so sorry, dude. It's just the divorce. Like, I just unloaded everything I had into that one, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So the culture, the officers put that. Is that funded by the government? Or is it like
it's for charity? It's like a charity fundraiser.
Okay.
And the biggest distinction from the years of doing street beefs versus the couple times I did Battle of the Badges, I like both of them have their positives and negatives. The positive of street beefs is that you're talking to your opponent. You're just chilling with them. Like, I will not confirm or deny the extracurricular activities, but they do questionable extracurricular activities after the fights.
We're talking about men full of testosterone.
Yeah. So there's some questionable shit that happens afterwards for sure. But then, so basically you're partying. Like, they'll have like the biggest after parties in street beefs. In Battle of the Badges, you don't even talk to your opponent, bro. You're like, they keep you in a room. We're in the same room, but then there's like a divider. So they keep the red corner on one side, the blue corner on the other. And I feel like it's that's where the tension builds up. Because I watched, like, mind you, I had like, at the time, like 6 or 7 street beefs fights. So I'm chilling. I'm like, oh, cool, you know, whatever. And then come time for the for the Battle of the Badges, I see everybody like go quiet, get all antsy, and I'm just like sitting there, I'm shadow boxing, making sure I'm tuned up, I'm good. Like I'm making sure that I'm doing okay, staying hydrated, making sure that I'm like, all right, cool, let's see how hungry I am, you know. I'm just doing maintenance, and then I see the dudes just kind of like, and a lot of it I feel like it's because like it's their first times. A lot of those guys was their first times. Again, I was just fortunate to have street beefs, and
they're carrying something probably, right?
that part. That part, they're probably carrying something, and then like they don't know the other guy's intentions, which is good, or it could be good, it could be bad. I mean, like when professionals are fighting, it's not like they're going up to their opponent and they're like, "Oh, bro, I can't wait to have a good fight." They're literally talking shit to each other. They're like, "Man, I'm about to sleep you." They're like talking all this, you know, making big drama shows. Gennady Golovkin says. So it's they're both very different in their own way. I like the street beefs crowd a little more just because I'm a lot more comfortable with them, and they treat me more like family. I feel like when I show up to the other, not to knock it, I'm not knocking it at all. I respect every single one of my peers in there. It's just kind of like we're going there, and if it's your first time, you kind of start defeating yourself. Like I said way earlier, you start defeating yourself, and I think it's a big mental game overall.
Yeah, once you lose your confidence, you're pretty much done. Even though you've had a ton of training, right? You freeze up, or you just right. Yeah,
that part.
Yeah. Is there one specific fight, Javi, that whether it was a win or a loss, where you walked away different than you walked in? Is there a fight that stands out for you?
My favorite fight to this day will be Street Beefs West Coast in 2021. Right after the breakup between the mother of my children and I happened, I was carrying a lot of weight, and I was not known for trash talking on Street Beefs. I was known for being very respectful and stuff, and that's how I am. I tell people all the time, I can't wait to catch your punches with my face. I can't wait to like go in there and fight with you, bro. Like, I'm super excited to exchange with you. And I was gonna fight Harry the Hitman Harrison was my opponent. Shout out Harry. You're You are one of my good brothers in Christ, bro. You're phenomenal. And I remember going into that fight, and I was just carrying a bunch of demons from the breakup. It was my first heartbreak with the mother of my children. And I remember just showing up, and I was like, I need to get in there. He gave me the most damage, dude. I remember I just got an x-ray during the summer. No, it was during the spring. I got an x-ray on my face because I was contemplating having a nose surgery because I have a deviated septum really, really bad. Like you'll see me do this. I'm clearing it up. And so I've got a really bad deviated septum, and they took an x-ray of my face, and I think it's on this side. Yeah, it's on this side. I've got a piece of my I got a piece of my bone missing right here because he caught me with like a really mean hook, and I remember just catching that hook, and I was like, whatever. I was in so much like emotional turmoil at the time that I didn't feel any pain, man. And I don't mean to sound like one of those guys that like. Okay, one of the people that I hate the most are the dumb motherfuckers that be like, oh, when I see red, I'll fuck it. No, you're my easy fucking pickings. I love fighting people like you because you just basically told me you don't know how to fight. In boxing, in anything in life, take your feelings out of it, please. Always take your feelings out of it because a lot of the times that's when we make the most mistakes, guys, especially men. I hold men highly accountable because we are the role models. We are the ones that lead the family to Christ. We are the ones that are meant to lead our families. We are meant to be the rock of our families. So I hold men especially accountable for everything. So don't be that. I was dumb young motherfuckers one times too, you know? And I used to say the same stuff. And all that conveys to people is you are not emotionally stable, which your girl will eventually leave you for because you're not safe. Your kids won't respect you eventually. I won't respect you. It's like, bro, like get your feelings in check. And a lot of the times too, men will struggle because they will give way to their emotions before putting God first. When I was going through those hard times, respectfully, one of my prayers was, Lord God, please be my feelings, for I cannot trust my feelings. Please be my heart, for I cannot trust my heart. Please be my mind, for I cannot trust my mind. Please be my thoughts, for I cannot trust my thoughts. They all betray me, and you never have, and you never will. And that got me through it.
But then during that fight that you mentioned, you walked in there with a lot of baggage. You went all out, and then you walked away relieved?
Bro, I gassed out. I went all out on that fight. Harry, I don't even think you knew, bro. I forgot if I told you. You made me gas out, dude. I threw it all in there, bro, the first two. So when Hitman beat me up the first round, I got him the second round, and then we tied the third. I was doing really good at the beginning of the third, and Hitman came back. I gassed the fudge out, bro. I just was like leaving everything in the ring. That fight really, really humbled me. It was kind of like it was like a buildup, like my life, like the breakup, like not knowing what I was gonna do, like how I was gonna be a single father. Everything was just building up, building up, building up, and the Lord reminded me who I was and who He was making me to be, that warrior that He needs me to be, to lead my two little blessings and back to Him. And I got my ass kicked that fight. I hit him too, and it was a good fight, man.
Yeah.
It was really helped me a lot. Physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. I left everything in the ring after that. That was one of my favorite fights.
You mentioned that. What's the process? What's your process, mentally, spiritually, in fight week?
Ooh, that's
before the fight? What's your process, dude? Like, how do you do it? Do you read a book? Do you not talk to anybody?
You know, a lot of people criticize me because as a fighter, a lot of people are always like, you need to get in that fight mode, and I just don't. I just kind of like, I'm like, whatever happens, happens. I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna do my best. Like, it doesn't matter. And a lot of the times too, I shadow box a lot. Like the way I calm my nerves down before the fight is I shadow box a lot. Battle
you do
the
it
badges.
at the gym. You do it at the gym.
I do it at the gym too.
Yeah.
I was doing it before I came in, actually. Not in the car, nothing, but like when I was showering, I was like. So I was like, man, I've never done a podcast before. So I was kind of like getting the nerves out there.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of shadow boxing to calm my nerves down. I'm known, don't do what I do, but I'm known for sparring before my fight, especially at Street Beefs. There's footage of me not at every single one of my fights, but one of my last big fights, there's footage of me where I'm sparring with like two big names in all of Street Beefs, sparring with them before my big fight, which I ended up winning, thankfully. But it was crazy. I was sitting there, I was sparring, and I wasn't sparring scrubs. I was sparring two of the top names in the Street Beefs West Coast. The Street Beefs Scrapyard. There used to be 4 branches of Street Beefs. It was Street Beefs, the main one in Virginia. Then you've got Street Beefs West Coast, which is Las Vegas and Arizona. You've got Street Beefs Dirty South, which is Texas and Arkansas. I don't know if they're a thing anymore. I don't see them a lot. And then you've got Street Beef Scrapyard, which unfortunately the branch leader of Street Beefs from Scrapyard and the main honcho of all of Street Beefs, they didn't see eye to eye. So their resolution was to just go their separate ways. So they're no longer with us. But at the time when they were still Street Beef Scrapyard, I got to fight 2 of their top warriors. One of their top fighters was a Viking Warrior, I think was his name. Sheesh, why am I brain farting? I see him all the time. I'm always like liking him with his kids and stuff. But I think it was a Viking Warrior. He was really good. And I fought Jay Gotham. Jay Gotham, unfortunately, 2 weeks after I sparred with him and 2 weeks after because he had a fight. We all have fights. So 2 weeks after he was at that event where I got to meet him, he ended up taking his own life.
Oh, shoot. Sucks, man. Oh, wow. Okay, so your process mentally, so you just clear your mind, you're relaxed, and then I'm assuming you're always praying, or your spiritual part, and then physically you spar. Cool. Very crazy on the last part there. Yeah, 'cause it is a gamble, right? You can get injured before the fight. Yeah. So, okay.
I don't recommend it.
We're going to close with this one. How about If a young Latino kid watching right now, and he feels like the odds are against him, what do you tell him?
First and foremost, I want you to pray. Pray to the Father that you might not know at the time, depending on how your spiritual leader is, being your father. Pray is my biggest thing. For one. For two, you are not alone. As alone as we may feel at certain points in our life, I promise you we're not. So don't get sucked into the idea that you got to go through this alone. You've got resources, whether you may know it or not, and they might be in the weirdest spots that you might ever find them. You know, like I think this whole interview I was talking about how God's timing just put me everywhere I needed to be. So, well, how young are we talking? Because if you're a teenager, bro, this is just the tip of the iceberg. So don't count yourself out. Keep fighting. Stay fighting the fight. And the fight is not against, a lot of the times the fight is against yourself. And it's, the devil will try very hard to get in your feelings, get in your mind. Just continue to put your faith in Christ, put your faith in the Holy Spirit, put your faith in God the Father. And I really recommend definitely seeking God, because had I not left God for those 2 decades that I thought I could do it by myself, I'd be so much further ahead. So my biggest thing for anyone, really, it doesn't just have to be a young Latino kid, anybody that is in touch with their faith, continue on seeking that faith even further. And if you don't find faith, come find me, because we'll talk, we'll go hang out, we'll do whatever. Like, I'm not here trying to Bible thump or pour it down your throat, but I am a living example of where I grew up in a religious setting. I fell from God like Satan did, and I came back.
So. That's good. That's good. I like that. So having 2 young kids, what do you want them to take from watching their dad doing all of this? You know, the badge, the coaching, the fighting.
I want them to be fighters like me, because they literally see me spar all the time at the gym. I've sparred professional fighters. I've sparred up-and-coming fighters. I've sparred all different types of fighters from different walks of life. And my kids have literally been front row just watching me get my face punched. I want them to see how durable and how alive their dad is, even at 35 years old. And I want them to know that they could do it too. And because they're starting earlier, I want them to know they could do it better, even with disabilities. I just want my kids to succeed. And one thing I always tell both of my kids is, like, you're going to be a lot better than me. You're going to be a lot stronger than me. That's the one thing I always tell my kids. I'm always hyping them up. If you know me, like earlier in the conversation, I'm like the self-proclaimed world's biggest hype man, complimenting everybody all the time. I do it for my kids too. I love those little things so much.
Nice. Do you see any of yourself in them yet?
My son has my impatience. Oh man. My daughter, she's cool. She's just like me, wanting to try all the things that I want to do. So nice. I do see myself in them.
That's good. Being a dad's special.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love being a dad. The only thing I wish, I never regret my kids. The only thing I do wish is I wish I had more patience to pick my partner better, because that's where I failed. And now they have to live life in 2 separate households. And it sucks.
That is hard, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, but kudos to you though, man.
Thank you.
You're playing the cards that have been dealt to you, and you're doing a good job at it. So
Salamat po, kuya.
Yeah. I mean, they need you, and you're there, right? So, what's next for Javier Quiroz?
Sheesh. Honestly, I've been praying a lot, because I don't know if God wants me to stay in Reno or move back to Sacramento. But with that being said, that's going to be something that God's going to tell me on His timing, and we'll see where that goes.
Why the move?
Their mother wants to go back. Not that she dictates my life or anything, but she wants to go back, and it's perfect timing with... I've been homesick for the last 5 years.
Most of your family's in Sacramento?
Yeah, my mother's still there.
Okay.
A couple of my aunts are there. And then the mother of my children, all of her family's there. So That's our home. That's where we met. That's where we're from. Not that I follow her or anything, but it's just kind of like it would help a lot too, because it takes a village. It takes a village to raise a child, and it's kind of hard to find help out here. It's hard to find help for 2 special needs kids. I'm the only one out here, so it's kind of hard not having my family there, and I know she feels it too.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
And I don't know. God's keeping me single in the season of my life, so I wonder why He's keeping me single. Not that I'm looking for it either, but it's just kind of like I feel like He's keeping me single because He's got another plan.
Yeah.
Have I dated? Yeah. Have I tried making something new with someone else? I've tried and it's failed. And I think it's because He doesn't want me to be in a relationship right now. Which is cool. I'm cool with that, but then I'm wondering why. And then when the opportunity of going back to Sacramento came up, I was like, is this why I'm being in a single season? Well, first and foremost, I know it's to get closer to him. But then I'm also like, yeah, knowing me, I'd probably be the hopeless romantic and try to like, yeah, let's make it work, babe. And then I'm pretty sure God's kind of like, yeah, no, don't do that, bro. You already tried that twice. Remember? I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I think we'll see.
Cool. Well, Javi, man, thanks for doing this, bro. Thanks for being honest, talking about your losses, talking about your lessons there, your struggles. Thank you for sharing that, man. It's not easy to share, but it helps a lot. We talked about people that a person that taking his own life. You're in a profession that is pretty high, on that part. But you've taken the losses and you turned it around for you. You've taken the punches.
It's not by my strength, to be honest.
Yeah. And I hope that's what people will take away from this. That Javier Quiroz took a lot of punches, emotionally, spiritually, physically, but chooses to continue to fight on, moving forward.
I really hope to inspire, people, so that's one of my big things. I really want to inspire people. And none of this was possible by just me. All of this I owe to God. All glory to God. I said it multiple times in this podcast because it's the truth. All glory to God.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what God has done. God has given me my friends that led me to you, that led me to this moment. It's God's work,
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's amazing. And your faith is very prevalent. You're, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And from the jump, you've been saying it. At the end, you are. So that's amazing. So to everybody watching or listening, if you're not there and you feel like the odds are stacked against you, and just remember the words of Javier or Javi. You get a million tries.
I like that. That's cool.
You get a million tries. Slow is smooth.
Smooth is fast.
Smooth is fast. All right, folks. That'll be it for this episode. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you haven't liked it or subscribed our page, please do so. We'd surely appreciate it. If you think there's lessons here, go ahead and share it to your friend. God bless all of you. Hanggang sa susunod. Salamat. Maraming salamat. And I'll see you next time.